want to welcome to the show right now Mr. Tom King, president of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. How you doing tonight, Tom?
Pretty good, Cam. How about you?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And, you know, there is this new study out, according to the Drum Major Institute for Public Policy and Transportation Alternatives. They say more people in New York City have died in traffic accidents than by, quote-unquote, gun violence in the past 10 years. Tom, if you watched the local news, you read the local papers, or if you listened to the mayor of New York City, you would have no idea that that was the case.
No, you're entirely right. You know, and it's about time that that somebody spoke the truth about what's going on in New York. You know, Mayor Bloomberg has been traveling all over the country, pressing his issue against guns, and maybe he should be staying home and acting as a traffic cop rather than as a gun guy.
I said maybe a fold up shop with Mayors Against Illegal Guns, start Mayors Against Illegal Left Turns, and get to the bottom of this. But look, here's the thing, Tom. Around the country, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't realize. Around the country, there are more traffic fatalities every year, far more traffic fatalities every year than there are deaths in which a firearm is involved.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that if you check it out, you'll find that there are also more kids killed in football and high school sports accidents than there are killed by guns.
And falling downstairs and drowning, and the number of children who are injured with a firearm or killed with a firearm every year has declined dramatically over the past 30 years. It's one of the really, I think, untold success stories. But, look, 200,000 Americans die every year because of medical mistakes.
That's right.
Again, far more than the number of people who are killed in which a firearm is involved in any manner. But none of those statistics, Tom, ever really get a lot of precedence because, it's one thing, I guess, to argue and lobby for little things that can make a big difference in a hospital's infection rate, for instance, asking people to, wash their hands before they see another patient. And maybe that sense of satisfaction you get when you try to eradicate a constitutional right. I mean, I don't know what prompts these folks to go after our rights so vehemently when there are, let's say, bigger fish to fry if you want to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we've talked about many times, Cam, that there's an agenda here, and it goes far beyond safety. They want to disarm the people of the United States. Now, far be it from me to call myself a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but there are people who would say that that's because if they disarm the people, then they're able to do whatever they want to do, and there's nobody to fight back.
Yeah. Now, look, they would couch it, Tom, in all kinds of academically acceptable terms that we are a much more urban nation. We are living in a closer proximity to one another, Tom, and therefore that sort of bubble of liberty that we carry around with us, it has to be smaller because we're more constrained and we bump up against other people, and so our rights have to be reduced in order to avoid them overlapping and infringing on somebody else's right. I mean, that's the latest argument that I've been hearing about why we need gun control, despite the fact that it doesn't do anything to make us safer.
Yeah, I've heard those too, and I just got back from Kansas, okay?
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't see any of that bumping into the guy next to me, and you do see it in New York City, you do see it in L.A., you see it in San Francisco, and you may see it in Portland, and you definitely see it in Chicago, and well, you used to see it in Detroit until everybody left, but you don't see that in the rest of the country.
No.
So I just don't understand this. It seems like a very disingenuous argument to me.
Oh, I think it definitely is. I think it is one that really attacks the idea of those who would choose to live outside of, major metropolitan areas. But I believe that even within large urban areas like New York City, it's entirely possible to have large numbers of legal gun owners, and there's not going to be a single problem. The problem, I think, Tom, part of the problem anyway, is that the culture of legal gun ownership has been wiped out of places like New York City, where 40 or 50 years ago, the sight of a kid riding on the subway with his air rifle as he was going to high school to practice in the basement range was not uncommon at all. Now, New York City is a place where the only people who have guns are the ultra wealthy or the criminals.
No, you're entirely right. And what's really interesting, if you remember that a couple of weeks ago, I was on the show and we were discussing the appeal that we made for people to come forward to talk about problems they were having with the New York City Police Department regarding high capacity magazines.
Yeah, how's that going?
We've had one person respond.
Really?
Yeah, and what I'm, officially respond, and what I'm finding out is that the people of New York City are scared to death of the people in the police department, that they're afraid that if they speak up about this, they're going to take their pistol permits away. Now, I never thought that could happen in the United States.
Were you afraid to speak up about government abuses?
Yes.
Because you're afraid of the government abuses?
Yes.
Wow. That is that's depressing because you do have members in New York City.
Oh, we have a lot of members in New York City. There's 35,000 pistol permit holders in New York City.
Uh-huh.
And I'm really it's just astonishing to me that the New York City Police Department can intimidate the pistol permit holders in New York City to such an extent that they're afraid to speak up.
Yeah, and gosh, what would you tell those folks, Tom? I mean, do they have a point?
Well, I'm sure that there have been cases where people have been and they've taken their permits away. But the fact is that if you think about this, if you were to become party to a suit against the pistol permit process in New York City, and you were a named plaintiff on that suit, do you think that
they're going to mess with your pistol permit?
Yeah.
You'd think they'd be smarter than to do something like that. And if they did, well, again, it would come out in court.
Yes.
It's interesting. I mean, we do that deal of the day segment every night, Tom, where we talk about a plea deal.
Yes.
Where, really the punishment just doesn't fit the crime. And one of the common excuses we see, and it's perhaps an acceptable excuse in some regard, you'll see a prosecutor say, look, we had no other choice because the victim refused to testify or witnesses were refusing to testify. And if we don't have any witnesses, it's really hard for us to build a case. And so we'll have to take the plea to a much lesser crime. And, yep, that means the bad guy is going to get out on the streets a little earlier. When you have folks who could testify about abuses taking place and they decide not to, in a way, I mean, that's kind of like a witness who refuses to come forward. And testify to put the bad guys away. If you want something to change, you got to speak up.
Yeah, you do. And, we're going to put out another appeal on this. But, I hope that some people come forward because there are abuses that are taking place that there are remedies for, but you just have to have people come forward.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Well, Tom, hey, do I understand correctly? Is this weekend the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association annual meeting?
Yes, it is.
Man, all right. Now, I'm going to be on the other side of the country, unfortunately, this weekend. But if I was not in L.A., I would be in New York State. I had so much fun a couple of years ago. I had a great time at the annual meeting. I would encourage anybody who can make it to Wallkill Rod and Gun Club. Head out there. You've got the outdoor range. You've got great dinner. Who's the big keynote speaker this year?
Jim Porter.
First Jim
Vice President.
Jim is a fantastic speaker. I could listen to him talk he's got so many great stories. I could listen to him talk forever. So I know it's going to be a great time. I really am sorry that I can't make it out there this weekend.
Next year.
I can't promise, but I will definitely get with you and look at the calendar so we can make plans for that.
Very good.
All right, Mr. King, thank you so much, sir, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tom King with the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association.